Okay. This is the Suns one?
Yep.
So I'll just sit here.
All right, we're talking about the Phoenix Suns, the best team in the NBA. And the team I have been a fan of, that's actually the team I've stuck with the most. I always root for like 2 or 3 teams every year. It's usually
That's true.
the Phoenix Suns and then whatever team
For
LeBron is on. And
For some reason, you hate the Jazz.
I mean, what's to like?
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. He's
And-
only been around recently.
And they have the best defensive player of all time.
I didn't know that they had Ben Wallace on their team.
No,
Anyways.
they have Dikembe Mutombo.
Anyways, we're going to talk about the Suns and why they are the most dominant team in the NBA right now. If you look at the standings, they are currently 9 games better than the second best team in the NBA. I mean, they're just head and shoulders above everybody else. I might even say they're better than, like, they could have won 73 games if they wanted.
Well, and
I'm just kidding. They
No.
couldn't do that.
no, if Chris Paul and Devin Booker hadn't been injured, because they both had injuries.
That's
And-
true.
So, and I don't know why it's not getting talked about more, but they'll probably end up with like 66 or 67 wins.
Yeah, they're on pace right now for that, which, you know, is all-time historic.
Yeah.
It's almost guaranteed that you win the championship.
Yeah.
Although, granted, there was a 73-win team that didn't win the championship, so
But they
you know,
lost against the GOAT. So.
yeah. So you know, you take it with a grain of salt. Well, I mean, the Suns might lose to the
So
next GOAT.
Yeah,
So
who knows?
you know, you
That's
take
true.
it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But anyways, I've basically narrowed it down because you don't watch any Suns games.
I mean, unless they play the Lakers or the Jazz.
Anyways, I've watched every Suns game this year, and I've narrowed it down to like 3 things as to why they're so dominant. Number 1, they have incredible team depth and chemistry. If you
That's
watch
true.
the Suns, you cannot doubt they are the deepest team in the NBA.
Yeah, I would say them and probably the Heat.
Yeah.
I have
And
like the
that's why they're the 2 number 1 seeds.
yeah, true.
Because the deepest teams win the regular season because guys get injured.
Yeah, but they can still.
But they can
win.
still win. I mean, yeah, like you said, Booker and Paul both got injured, and they're still able to win games.
Yeah,
The whole system doesn't change.
they're on a 6-game win streak with no Chris Paul.
They've gone on, if I remember right,
8
3 8-game winning streaks this year and 1
18
18.
game win streak. So yeah,
Yeah, and their team chemistry is just phenomenal. Like, everyone knows their roles, and no one has an ego. And I'm going to attribute that to Chris Paul
yeah,
just establishing that culture. Because, you know, 2 years ago, before the bubble, the Suns were a joke. And they
It's
even
true.
acted like a joke. Like, the players, you know,
yeah.
they joke around like they're just doing pranks on each other. And not that you can't, like, do pranks on each other, but,
Well,
like,
they just weren't that serious.
yeah, they weren't serious at all. And then,
I always forget that they were not even a playoff team before Chris Paul got there.
yeah, I mean, they went, since the bubble, before COVID happened, they were a joke. Then they went into the bubble, won 8
games.
games, and still missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they were the 2nd seed and made the NBA Finals, and now they're the 1
Yeah.
seed. Like, it's the fastest turnaround to me of any franchise that hasn't just drafted a player,
Yeah,
you
or
know, an
traded
instant superstar.
or traded a player.
Yeah.
for a player, like because
So-
I mean the Cavaliers when they got LeBron back the second time,
Oh yeah,
that was the
instantly-
biggest turnaround. I think they were.
That's probably the biggest turnaround
Yeah.
in NBA. But they were signing, you know, the
Yeah,
core of the
exactly.
Suns is still been intact. Anyways, number 2, phenomenal coaching. I think Monty Williams is the best coach in the league.
yeah.
I mean,
I think he's
I'm not going to
definitely
take away
top
the
3.
greatness of Greg Popovich because he's obviously the greatest coach all time.
Yeah, and I
but-
think Ty Lue is honestly a really good coach.
Ty Lue is a good coach. I think Eric Spoelstra is
Yeah.
a great coach, but I think Monty Williams, just how he's coached them, because he makes it a point anytime they celebrate the little things. Anytime
Yeah.
any role player or anything has a career night, it's a big deal for the whole team.
Yeah,
Like when Cam Johnson had his career high, I think it was like 36 points against the Knicks. They were like everyone was happy for him, and that comes down to coaching, perfect coaching, and well, actually, Monty Williams was an assistant coach for Greg Popovich, so
That makes sense.
that only attests more to
Yeah.
the greatness of Greg Popovich and how he.
It's true.
And then number 3, why they're the best is they have the perfect mix of youth and veterans, and the hunger to win.
It's true.
Like, they have a young core with one of the greatest NBA leaders ever in Chris Paul.
Well, he's not young.
Well, no, but they have a young core with
Yeah,
with a
I see,
veteran
yeah.
leader.
They have the Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. And Mikal Bridges,
Yeah.
Cam Johnson youth, plus the veteran leadership of Chris Paul, and the hunger to win. This Suns team is on a mission this year
It's true.
to not just get back to the finals. It's championship or bust.
Yeah.
And I literally think they've designed their whole team to best beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
And any other team that they come across in. And yeah. Oh, I would even add a fourth reason they're so great is they have some of the most versatile defenders who can defend multiple positions on switches.
It's true. Every time I have seen the Suns, I'm just like, man, I wish the Lakers could get some of those.
Yes.
Because it's just such a night and day difference between those two teams defensively.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and they have Mikal Bridges, who should be first all-NBA defensive team.
No, for sure.
And he can guard any position. And you have Cam Johnson, who can guard any position. You have Jay Crowder, who can guard any forward center position. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton, who can do the same.
Yeah.
And
no, they're great defensively.
Plus the offensive weapons of Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
Because I think, aren't they the only team that's top 5 in offense and defense?
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, they're the only team that's top 5 rating in both.
So that usually means winning. But
so I would ask you, Blake, what is the Suns' ceiling this year?
Probably championship, but I think they'll lose in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
the Bucks. Yeah.
If it's any other team.
Yeah, if it's any other team, unless somehow the Nets make it, which means that they're clicking on everything, then I think the Nets would win just because they have both their players are better than the Suns players. What I'm saying is I don't think the Nets will even get out of the first round.
But if they did
make it to the finals, that means everything's working.
Yeah.
And they would have the 2 best players in the series. So, but other than that, no, if it's like the Heat or if it's like the 76ers, I think the Suns can win against them.
I would agree. I think the Suns are the best team in the Western Conference. I really don't see... I mean, the Grizzlies and the Warriors are the 2 biggest threats to me, but I'm still favoring the Suns in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I really don't see anyone in the West that is going to knock the Suns off. I think they'll probably win fairly easily.
I literally think the Milwaukee Bucks are the one team that could beat any other team. Because I do think the Heat could beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
Right? I think the Heat have a better chance of beating the Bucks than the Suns have a chance of beating the Bucks.
Yeah.
So, Heat, please take out the Bucks. And then we'll repay you with a finals loss.
Yeah.
Fair trade-off. But yeah. Go Suns.